Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Larry Rolla.
If you live to be 11, the treatment worked, and you die at 11. So, what the hell's that mean? Cure to me means like my cousin. When I brought her down there, it's 45 years ago. She's still alive and well and cancer free. That's a cure for me, not 5 years after the treatment. What the, I don't get it. And I used to get so mad. And that's why I had to stay off of a lot of these television shows. I'm almost part of you. We were on Phil Donahue, Oprah. I know we were on television shows. I just can't remember the ones. But I couldn't go on because when I start talking about this, especially back then when I was involved, they threw me out of the chamber once. I just
because you get so mad because they're not cooperating.
Works and you want to bury it. Why? How could you say that chemotherapy, radiation, and operation are the only cures you have that are proven not to work, and the cancer rate is still the same, everything is still the same, and yet you have cancer drives on it? It used to get me crazy when this guy had basically 100% cure rate, and you don't even want to hear about it. Get the fuck out of here.
Because they don't want a cure. Because if they have a cure, Larry, if they have a cure, they're going to lose all that money for raising money for it and all this.
You're exactly right. And that's why I had to stay off the television shows. That's why I couldn't go on, because I would run my mouth like this. And back then I was a lot worse. Now I'm old and I'm just old and grumpy, but back then I was young and full of piss and vinegar, and I'd go right at you with this stuff. This is not make believe. This is not nothing. This is saving little kids, everybody's life, but especially the little kids. You know what it is to see a little kid, 10, 11 years old, just wasted away, riddled with chemotherapy, and it was terrible. And then when you go to the doctor, like a lot of people, many times, I would take the mother says, well, my doctor says that I shouldn't take him down there because number one, it's bullshit. It don't work. Number two, they have a new thing and they think this would work. It could pinpoint the thing and everything else. And then you want to go to the doctor and you want to fucking strangle him. Because
it's wring his neck.
It's all about, and that's a sad thing, not only with cancer, about everything in the whole world. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. The line of morality moves whenever money is involved. And sometimes it gets completely eliminated when money is involved. And that includes politicians. That includes presidents.
Just like being a drug addict. If they cured drug addiction, they wouldn't have people going to rehabs and all this money getting dumped into it. So they need that to keep going so that they can feed that beast. It's a lot of money. They don't want that money to stop.
What your listeners should do, people that might be involved in something like this, just Google. And I never did, so I don't even know what would come up. But Google that, number one, every cancer society, cancer institute, cancer society, all of these people, they're all privately owned organizations. Find out how much they make every year. It's mind-blowing. The CEOs of this company are making billions, and people are dying and happy. But you know what? And I've witnessed it. Some of these people that work for these companies, you know where they went when they would get diagnosed? They came to Dr. Burton. And I used to have a list of all of these people, what organizations they worked for. And back then, maybe now even today, I don't know. I haven't been down there in 20 years. But the people that work for Dr. Burton, the nurses and doctors that work at Dr. Burton back then, maybe even today, were people that worked in the cancer society industry and were diagnosed with terminal cancer, and they knew that there was no cure. They knew it was all bullshit, and they came down to Dr. Burton and got cured. And some of them stayed there and worked there.
$24 billion a year.
I think it's more than that, but
$24.5 billion.
What'd you Google? What'd you put
billions spent on cancer research globally.
No, not cancer research, on the treatment of cancer. Put in on a treatment again. 24 billion is just on research. That's bullshit. Put in how much money is made on the treatment of cancer.
190 billion.
No, it's more than that. But
That's what it
anyway,
says.
that's enough.
Cancer treatment costs. It's a lot.
It's more than that. Believe me, it's more than that. It's all bullshit. Anyway, all right. You want to talk about some killings or something? What do you want to do now?
We can talk about whatever you want.
How long we been on?
50 minutes.
50, an hour already?
Yeah.
That's enough, Billy boy. I gotta take my dog out.
Yeah, thank you, man. Tell your dog I said hi. I love your dog. He's awesome.
Okay.
Big ass Labradoodle.
Let me put my dog. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Nah, he don't want to. He's on the couch here laying.
Yeah, but hey, if I walked in the door, he'd be fucking jumping off the wall.
Well, you've been at my home, so
yeah.
you knew him. You saw him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great dog.
I'm gonna take him out now. The weather been here terrible the last few days. Anyway, thanks for having me on. I wish you a lot of luck in everything that you do down the future, and I hope maybe me talking about this maybe was able to help some people, because I know one thing, and what used to kill me when the doctors say, "Now it's all bullshit." When you give, what the fuck do you expect the guy to do when you say, yeah, your son or your husband or your wife or your mother has less than 3 months to live, but don't go down there because that's bullshit. What do you expect? What do you got to lose when you're at that point in your life? Well, what are you supposed to do? Just sit back and just do nothing? Because my doctor says that's all bullshit. You're wasting your money. Get the fuck out of here.
So and that's just gonna die, right? Yeah.
I get crazy. And the best part is none of these doctors even know about what he's doing. They don't know of the treatment. And I'll tell you something else. There was a guy called Abe Margolis. He was a very, very wealthy guy. He contacted me and Davey, and we flew down to the Bahamas. This is the truth. And he offered Dr. Burton, he gave him a blank check. Now, this guy was close to a billionaire back then. He gave him a blank check. He says, fill it out for whatever you want. And all I want is the test that you have. He has a test, and I think they still have it. I'm sure they do. That if you have cancer, what kind of cancer you have, when you're going to get it, how long you had it, all of that stuff. He offered Dr. Burton a blank check if he would just give him that test, and not the treatment, nothing else, just that test. And Dr. Burton, he says, make it out for $1 billion. I'll make the check good. Dr. Burton says, I can't do that. He wouldn't do it. And behind the scenes, Abe Margolis was going to give me 10% of whatever it was. So if he took, like say $100 million, I was going to get 10, $1 billion. I was hoping he would do it. Even if I told him, I says, Doc, it's just the test. You're gonna sell him the test. He's gonna take it, go to the States. You could still use it here.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it. So
that would have been huge. That would have been a huge a huge innovation for cancer.
Yeah, it would have. But Dr. Burton got so bitter that anything to do with the United States, unless they let him in, he's not divulging nothing. And it didn't matter, because all he cared about morning, noon, and night is staying in his clinic and just taking care of these people. If he had $100 million, he'd never spend it. All he did was smoke. He smoked the pipe, and he didn't. The money didn't bother him. He just wanted to help and cure people, and that's the part that got me so mad with these people. Yet, when the president of the United States' sister was the first one they called was me. Yeah. So, and then they had to have Secret Service. If that was the reason, I don't know. That whole thing is way beyond me. But I can tell you what happened, and I can tell you that that when you have nothing else going for you and they give you no hope, and they do, they just tell you, okay, here. Now, after 6 months of throwing your guts up, after 6 months of losing your hair, after 6 months of losing weight, being sick all the time, living miserably, when 5 universities came out with an investigation, and they said that if you have cancer and you take none of the treatments that are offered, you actually live 5 times longer with no treatment at all. That's the truth. That's somewhere in the records.
Sometimes the treatment will kill you faster than the cancer will.
If you do nothing, you live 5 times longer. By average. So I used to know all of this shit, but it's been 40 years, 45 years since I even got involved in this. But it's in my book, and being that, how many times we're going to talk about my story and what I did. Can I talk about one particular fixed race, one particular situation that happened? Absolutely. But being that we didn't, we talked about this, it's been an hour now. So that's it.
We'll do more in the future, and I appreciate you coming on. Go check out his book. It'll be in the description of this video. Just click the link, check out his book. And if you think he's full of shit, comment to him, not me.
No. Let me.
He's not full of shit.
Before you shut me off here, let me just say one thing. I've been doing a podcast now. It's been, I think, 41 or 42 podcasts that are up there. I talk about all the things that I did, and some of them are not believable. Most of the people that are involved in that knew of my life, not one call, not one time, not one message that I get saying that that's a lie. With all the proof checkers out there, never got a bad, not that you're lying, you're full of shit. Because first of all, the people in the horse business, they all knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
So this is not full of shit. And if you
listen, I believe you.
This is for real. And my cousin Cookie, if I knew we were going to talk about this, I would have had her come here, and she could tell you the whole her story, what happened. Given 3 months to live, took it down to Dr. Burton in the Bahamas, stayed there for 8 weeks instead. Normally it's 6, but in her case, he kept her there an extra 2 weeks and sent her home with a couple of booster shots. And that was, God, I think she's 75, 78 years old now.
That's wild.
And alive and well. As well as many other people that once they left there, I had no more contact. Even in fact, once they got there, unless I was down there, I'd stop in and say hello. But who knows?
You never know. Someone might be watching this and see.
Well, I hope so. But
You
don't
never
forget
know.
the people I'm 83, so the people that I brought down there, the kids, who knows? I don't know. I just hope something good comes out of this podcast. So that's it, Billy. Thanks for having me on. Good luck to you in the future. And if you need me for anything, just call me. And take it easy on them guys that you crucified. Just remember, there's 2 sides to every story. And before you crucify somebody, learn both sides of the story. See you around, Billy. Good luck.
Thanks, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this podcast, start your own. Peace. Thanks, man.
See ya.